Sun and Snow, written by Chloe Park. Put on your seatbelts. Hold on to the time machine. We're traveling back to the small town of Ridgewood in America around the 1950s. The 6 Carter children were outside near their house, playing. There was a small lake right next to the road, a bed of orange and yellow leaves, and the lovely October wind was whistling softly in the children's ears. Adam, Susan, and Andy were kicking the ball to each other while the younger ones, Lucy and the little mischievous twins, Polly and PollyAnna, were flapping their arms and running around the field like free blue jays. Hey guys, can I play too? Lucy asked, stopping the ball that had rolled out of course. Yeah, sure, Andy replied. Wee! We want to play too, Anna said. All the children played with the ball, so it jumped around like a Mexican jelly bean. Anna kicked the ball with great strength, and it flew into the air and landed with a strush into the forest. There's a moment of silence. What are you waiting for? Let's go get it, Susan said. The Carters rushed into the forest, searching the bushes and under ferns. Still no ball. Gosh, what are we going to do? I don't know if I have enough money to buy another ball. Lucy said, Well, that's not the only problem. We don't know the way back home, Adam groaned. Let's keep searching. Hey, everyone's here except Adam and Lucy, Polly shouted. Just then, Lucy came stumbling with the ball. Nice, you're the best. But where's Adam? Susan asked. Don't ask me. I don't know, Lucy shrugged. He'll show up. Let's try going home first, Andy suggested. Oh, right. But as Adam said, we don't know our way home, Anna said. Actually, note that this is your fault, Anna, Polly replied angrily. Minutes passed, but Adam was nowhere to be seen. Hey, I have a bad feeling about this, Andy said. I'm kind of scared. I don't like this place. It's really creepy. Anna shuddered, sitting close to Susan. I know, but it's okay. Adam will come and we will go back home, Susan assured, hugging Anna. Adam can't be lost. I mean, it's weird. Adam just gets lost when we don't, Lucy said, flattening her plaid kilt skirt. Suddenly, there was a very strange whistling and cracking sound. Brush, crink, brush. Adam, Polly whispered. Let's go check it out, Andy whispered back. All the children ran to the big bush where the sound was coming from. As they saw, it was just a sparrow. Come on, I'm getting a weird feeling. Let's actually search for Adam. No goofing around, Lucy concluded. Everyone set off to find Adam together. As they were walking down a narrow path, Lucy said, Where would Adam be? Andy shrugged. I hope he comes soon. Yeah. Susan, if we really can't find Adam, should we just turn back home? Polly asked. Susan? No answer. Susan, where are you? Lucy said frantically. She vanished in thin air, Anna shrieked. Susan and Adam gone? What are we to do? Polly wailed. During all this chaos, gusts of wind blew, and the sun began to set. Oh, goodness me, it's becoming nighttime already, Lucy shouted. The children found a large and thick tree to spend the night on. One by one, everyone climbed up the tree and settled down. I'm hungry, Polly muttered. I saw some blackberries and raspberries. We can eat them in the morning, Lucy responded. In a matter of time, the Carters fell asleep. Lucy was the first one to wake up. She woke Andy up and said, I saw some cranberries. Ooh, cool, PollyAnna cried, waking up. Once everyone was down the tree, they started picking blackberries, raspberries, and cranberries. And Lucy found a decent amount of toffees in her tailcoat pocket. They sat down under the tree, on logs and rocks. Yummy! Those cranberries are really good, Anna said. I'll get some more, Andy replied. He went over to the cranberry trees and was about to pick a few good ones, but vanished in thin air. Andy, have you picked the cranberries yet? Anna asked without looking back. The children were too engrossed with eating. Andy didn't answer. Polly cleared her throat. Still, no answer. Lucy and PollyAnna turned around. Andy! They shouted. Where are you? Lucy asked. Adam, Susan, and Andy? Gone? What should we do? Anna wailed. There's something very wrong, Lucy murmured to herself. We should keep going, Polly said quietly. You see, we might find out what's causing this, and find the others. Okay, Lucy agreed. Lucy and her sisters were walking on the snow-covered ground. Their pockets were packed with cranberries and toffees. I'm tired and cold, Anna complained. I know, Lucy sighed. Right in front of them, there was a frozen river, but the children didn't notice because it was covered with snow. They stepped on it. Ah, what's happening? Polly shouted. Looks like we fell in a river. I can't stop. I'm sliding too fast, Lucy shouted back. Me too, Anna hollered. Suddenly, the three fell into a hole. Wait, no, where are we going? I want to stop sliding. My bottom is hurting, Polly screamed. Yes, but I do have a feeling this is going to end soon, Lucy responded. Soon after that, the ice turned to warm water. Wow, Anna breathed. She dove down and found Lucy and Polly swimming underwater. When the children came up on the surface again, they realized that they were swimming in a river surrounded by a big plain full of flowers and small saplings. There were small chipmunks, birds, and butterflies roaming the area. Among the clouds, a beautiful castle stood with gold bells. Gems like ruby, emerald, and amber shined in the sun's light. This is amazing, Polly said. Let's get out of this river. Oh, look, they're little schools of fish. I didn't notice that, Lucy replied, crawling out of the river. It's pretty wide, Anna added, crawling out too. Can we go to the castle? Polly asked. Sure, Lucy said, circling an apple tree. The three set off on the narrow path leading to the castle. As they walked on, a group of winged horses flew by. At the castle, Lucy and PollyAnna were led to a sitting room with big rocking chairs, a birch bookshelf, a plate full of cookies, and a lady with blonde hair talking to some rabbits. She turned around. Hello, dears, she cooed. Hi? Lucy said. I've seen you three and your siblings roaming my sister's land, but you have made it here. Welcome to my part of the world, the lady said. Now, you must be hungry. Please eat. The guards who led the children collared something, and a rodent scurried up and gave each person a piece of bread and a bowl of mushroom soup. What tea would you like? The rodent squeaked. Oh, any type is good, Lucy answered. Oh, okay. The creature smiled and gave each of the three kids some lemon zinger. Thank you very much, Willie, the lady said. Willie the rodent bowed and scurried away. Not to be rude or anything, but who exactly are you? Polly asked. My name is Isabella, and also known as the Sun Queen. My sister is Cyrusy, and she is the Snow Queen. You've been in her land before you guys came here, didn't you? Isabella asked warmly. I guess, but do you know where our siblings are, Your Majesty? Lucy added, sipping the tea. Well, they are in Cyrusy's castle, Isabella replied. Do you know where it is? How do we get there? How are we going to get in? Which room would they be in? Lucy, Polly, and Anna fired questions. Now. It's very hard to get in the castle, but I do know a way to get inside the Snow Queen's land, Isabella said. Please help us, Lucy pleaded. If you really wish to go, I suppose, the Sun Queen murmured. Yes! Polly squealed. Very well then, Isabella said, leading the children out of the sitting room. Oh, wait. When you go to Cyrus's castle, you'll need these scarves and sweaters, and these white coats. That way, you won't be cold and you won't be seen. Don't forget to get some food for your siblings. I don't suspect that they are properly fed, she added, handing out the clothes. Lucy took a white sack and put some bread and cookies in. Once the children were ready, Isabella led them to a small door. Mind your heads, she said, unlocking the door. There was a white bridge that led to elsewhere, completely made out of clouds. How are we going to get to cross? That's impossible. We'll just drop down, Anna asked. I don't see how that could be a problem, the Sun Queen replied. Now just follow the bridge. The three glanced at each other and stepped onto the cloud bridge. They didn't fall off. Wow, thanks, Sun Queen. Lucy stopped. Yes. Now off you go. There isn't a minute to lose, Isabella said, waving. Lucy nodded and followed Pollyanna away. Soon enough, cold winds blew, whistling off. The smiling sun faded, and the cold took over. All was white, covered with snow. Polly snapped her hood up, and her head turned white. Lucy tightened her lilac scarf. Looking up, there was a big castle, completely made out of ice. There were ice trees growing tall. In front of the gates, about 7 guards stood like statues. They had white hats made out of polar bear fur, white clothes, and white boots. Swords were hanging on their belts. Lucy and Anna quickly put their hoods up and slinked around the castle, trying to find a way into one room. Suddenly, a light bulb formed into Lucy's mind. Let's climb the tree, she hissed, grabbing on the branch. She slipped off. Be careful, Polly whispered back, gripping the ice tightly. The 3 children climbed on with great difficulty and went up to the nearest room through the window. The room was full of blankets and pillows, all white or blue. Let's get going, Lucy whispered, slipping out of the room. The corridors were unlike the Sun Queen's castle. They were very dim-lighted. They checked every room until they heard a cold voice. Adam, I told you to scrub the decks clean. They're all filthy, Adam said glumly. Sorry, I'm not very good at household chores. Well, learn them. No one's going to teach me. Rubbish. Mind your manners, Adam Carter. The cold voice ended the argument. Adam, that was Adam, Anna whispered. Yes, that was, Polly added. Guys, shh. She peeked in. There was a lady whose face was cold and was crossing her arms, fuming. It's almost nighttime. You, not you, Angus, Timmy. You go get my covers, she snapped to her guards. Hide, Lucy whispered very quietly, hiding in the shadows. Once the guards were gone, Polly said, If Adam is here, Susan and Andy should be somewhere here. I guess, Polly replied. Then Adam came mumbling while mopping the floor. Use the right cleanser wipe, the cold lady screamed after him. Adam, Lucy whispered. Adam jumped with surprise. What are you doing here? At night, he asked. Where are the others? Anna whispered. In the disc room, cleaning the discs, sanitizing the player, Adam replied. Well, we can't go now because the coast isn't clear, Lucy said. Let's hide in the blanket room for now, until that clock strikes 12, she added, slipping around, pushing the door open. Once all 4 children were in, Lucy checked the time. 10 minutes till 12, she said. How did you guys come here, anyways? Adam asked, plopping on a stack of pillows. The Sun Queen told us about the Snow Queen Cyrus and crossed the Bridge of Clouds, Polly replied. Well, the Snow Queen is probably the exact opposite of the Sun Queen, Adam said. Is it 12 yet? Polly complained. Okay, fine, Lucy grunted, opening the door. Meanwhile, the Snow Queen was not in a very good mood. Her hatred and jealousy of her sister grew as she thought about the pretty sun and liveliness of Isabella's land and the cold winds and snow of her of her land. She also thought about the nasty, filthy, naughty children in her land. She went out on her balcony, cursing and fuming. Far off, the Sun Queen was also on her balcony, charting all the stars in the night sky. The Snow Queen looked up, but didn't see a single smiling star. Beautiful night indeed, Cyrusy, Isabella said. Stop showing off! I'm getting sick of it! With those hideous children messing my castle up every day. Why did they even enter my land? Cyrusy shouted with fury. If the children are so bad, why not just give them freedom? The children didn't go to your land on purpose. Please forgive them and send them home, the Sun Queen replied. How can I forgive them? They were in my land. Besides, how do you know that the children are in my castle? The Snow Queen growled. Cyrusy, Cyrusy. Lucy, Polly, and Anna came to my castle and asked me where their siblings were. They were so eager to get to their siblings in your castle, so I led them across the bridge of clouds. Very sorry, Isabella replied. What? How dare you? You're my sister. Stop spying on me like a dumb fox. I'm gonna find these kids no matter what, Cyrusy shrieked, slamming the door shut. The Sun Queen sighed and went to bed. Meanwhile, Adam, Lucy, and PollyAnna were going through an ice and crystal trapdoor leading to a hallway. We only have a little bit of time. Here, hurry. It's 12:10. We still have time, Adam whispered, glancing at the clear clock. Yes, PollyAnna, let's not wait for the grass to grow, Lucy snarled. No grass here. Only some boring snow. Brr. Really? Well, not so fast, shouted a voice from behind. Oh no, it was a guard. Seconds later, the Snow Queen came gliding with an evil smile on her cold face. Let's see. Looks like we have some visitors, Cyrusy said mockingly. Where is Susan and Andy? Polly asked, looking fixedly at the Queen. Somewhere where servants stay. And you guys will be servants too. Guards, seize them! The Snow Queen ordered. The guards took the children to a very dusty room with a few lanterns and a bed and beds. From tomorrow morning, Queen Cyrusy says that you should scrub the decks and mop the floor from ground floor to 8th floor. Polish the lanterns and ice statues, and replace wax for the candles. Now to bed, the guard shouted, slamming the door shut. Then Susan and Andy came out of another room, looking tired and wearing old nightgowns. Susan! Andy! Anna screamed, running up to hug her siblings. There was a moment of hugging and tears of joy. Anna, Polly, Lucy, how'd you end up in this horrid castle? Susan asked. We tried to rescue you, but was caught red-handed by the guards. Now we're servants too, Lucy replied. She yawned, and they all fell into a deep slumber. The next morning, the Carters swept the whole castle and ate very little. This was the everyday life of the children. Like this, days passed, and then weeks, then months. Now the children were used to the hard work. In fact, the children helped each other out and worked together as a team. The Snow Queen watched the kids be nice and never fight as bad as ever. They loved being generous. As time passed, Cyrusy started to feel a little guilty for keeping the children for herself. How about their parents? After a few more weeks, the Sun Queen kept remembering her and Isabella when they were little. When she saw the merry children chatting after work, finally, she decided that it wasn't right to keep the poor children. She called the Carter to her room and said coldly, I have decided that I have no need for you nasty midgets, so I'm going to send you home. My guards, Timmy, Angus, and Toby, will escort you to Ridgewood and let you go home. Good luck. The Carters clapped and each said a word of thanks. but still looked surprised and confused about the evil Snow Queen sending them home. They followed the guards away. "Safe travels," the Queen muttered. She smiled. She knew that she did the right thing, and as she did, her heart warmed up. Even in the Snow Queen's land, winter was passing and spring was coming. The end.